Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of RC Retirement. I know it's been a long time, and I do apologize for that. I can just say my fault entirely. But I do have a good one for you now to celebrate my return, and I think that you will all enjoy this one. It will probably be a short episode, but it will be worthwhile. So let's dive right on into this one. And I've got this prepared. It's right here in front of me, just so I don't mess it up. And we'll just go right on in. This is from you guys, so you actually chose the topic for me. And here we go. So a few months ago, I got an email from you guys out there, from a reader of an article. His name was Micah, and he had a question that I've seen a couple of times. It's based on a common misconception, and one that I'm not surprised to see. And he accused me of giving out some bad information. So this caught my eye, and what follows is an email chain of the conversation between Micah and myself. I'm just going to read the emails as they were written, although I did clean up the grammar between him and myself just so it comes out a little clearer. And when I post the email on the website in written form, it's going to hide Micah's last name just to protect his privacy. So here we go. Micah says, DJ, why misinform people? It makes absolutely no sense to break down VA pay versus drill pay on a daily basis. You are always receiving VA benefits every day. You are only receiving drill pay for a drill weekend. You are essentially comparing active duty to VA medical benefits. There is no argument that a full month of military pay would be more, but nobody outside of active duty or AGR would see a full month of military pay unless on deployment. If you are working a civilian job, you will get your civilian pay plus VA medical. If you are activated for deployment, you will get active duty pay, and that's it. Your argument is factually inaccurate, as I'm sure you are well aware. Micah. So as you can see, Micah is talking about the conflict between receiving military pay and VA compensation. So like I've hinted, this is a common misconception that you can not receive one or the other. Now, it's true, there are laws in place that say you can't receive both at the same time, but let me go ahead and tell you the rest of the conversation. So, here's my thinking and what I wrote for the rest of this. The entire point, in fact, of my last video on this topic, which was called Should I Take Drill Pay or VA Compensation, was to dispel the myth that you had to waive the entirety of one type of pay or the other, military pay or VA compensation, to receive one or the other. And I tried to explain this to Micah, that you could go to drill and you could receive some VA comp at the same time. So here's how that went. I said, Micah, The information I provided in the article/video is correct. I am making no attempt whatsoever to misinform people. Drill pay is day by day, and VA compensation can be broken down the same way. When you compare each at a daily rate, the military pay is often higher. The tools I provided and the information on which it is based is all accurate. You can even check with the VA and verify it. They will confirm that military pay on a daily basis, even drill pay, is typically higher than VA compensation, and that it is usually better for a service member to keep drill pay rather than take VA pay for those few days each month. I hope this helps. DJ. Now, I will confess that I made the mistake back then of thinking that I had satisfactorily answered the question with this first email. I moved the original message into my old mail and carried on with my day, not really giving it any second thought. So I was a bit surprised when a second message arrived later on, and this one was much more involved. So let me show you, or rather read to you, how that one went. So Micah responds saying, I'm not arguing the numbers. I receive VA medical, and I'm well aware, broken down to a daily rate, that military pay is more. Your article is misleading, and I'll explain why. Can you work a civilian job and drill during the same exact time? No. Can you work and receive those VA benefits simultaneously? Yes. If you want a real comparison, here it is. We will use your numbers for the sake of argument. If Specialist Jones performs all of his monthly drills, 4 days of pay for each weekend, and a 15-day annual training, or the equivalent of 63 days of paid duty, he will receive a total of $5,324.76. So, in your own words, Specialist Jones gets $5,324 for a standard duty reserve year. Specialist Jones only gets 63 days because he is not active. Again, quoting me, the monthly rate of disability pay for a married member at the 80% disability rate is $1,686.13. Not quoting me now. So prior service member Specialist Jones collecting VA disability receives $20,233.56 a year, and his pay is not taxed. So $20,000 in non-taxable dollars is somehow less money than $5,324 in your mind? Question mark. Your daily figure is based on full active duty pay. A normal reservist, undeployed, will never see that. This is why breaking the values down to daily does not work. He has this in bold in all caps. It is misleading, and you will cost people their hard-earned money by misleading them. I hope this helps. Micah. Now, I am very glad that Micah used an example from my own article because it gives me an insight into how he is thinking. From this example, I see again that he thinks an entire month's VA compensation must be sacrificed in order to accept military pay. In this case, drill pay, which is 4 days of pay. The truth is, for an entire year of military training, the mythical Specialist Jones would only need to waive 63 days of VA compensation in order to receive military pay, and he would keep the remaining amount of VA compensation throughout the year. So you're, in effect, giving up 2 months of VA compensation and keeping the other 10. I was about to explain this to Micah when another email arrived. So this was really about the time I finished reading the first message when this second message arrived. It was just a short thing, a short add-on to his first message. So Micah adds, "Here is the correct daily rate based on the total annual income divided by 365. This is how it is supposed to be done," he says. VA medical, $20,233.56 divided by 365 equals $54.43 per day. Drill pay, $5,324 divided by 365 equals $14.59 a day minus taxes. There you go, he says. That should clear up your bogus article. Micah. So the criticism here is getting a bit harsh. But this message got me thinking. I decided I was going to need more than just my own words to convince Micah of the truth of the matter. I needed not just my claim of the truth, but the VA's own statement to it as well. I decided to do some digging. But since at the time I was currently playing a card game with my family, I did put it off for a little while, about 2 hours. So once the game was completed, might have been a little more, I don't remember. I'll have to check the timestamp on the emails. But once the game was completed, I got to work. I started digging. And it didn't take me long to find the answer. I wrote another message to Micah that evening and showed him what I had found. So here's what I said. Micah, as I have said, everything I say on my site is based on public law and regulation. The same goes for the article and video regarding waiving a portion of VA compensation. The guidance comes straight out of VA documentation. I have attached it and a few other items for your reference. For simplicity, I will paste the relevant section from page 2 of the Word document, which can be found at the link below. And I gave a link. And here is the quote that I gave him. I won't read the entire parts of the section of law as far as I'll go ahead and read it. 10 U.S.C. 12316 and 38 U.S.C. 5304 parenthetical part C prohibit the concurrent receipt of drill pay and Department of Veterans Affairs disability compensation or pension. Bullet 1. Veterans who perform active or inactive duty training must choose the benefit they prefer and waive the other. Bullet 2. most veterans choose to receive drill pay instead of disability compensation or pension because drill pay is typically the greater benefit. These veterans must waive their VA benefits for the same number of days they received drill pay. Now we're back to my email to Micah. As you can see, even the Veterans Administration says that the waiver is for, quote, the same number of days, unquote, for which they, meaning the veteran, received military pay. He does not sacrifice the entire month of VA compensation. That is a common misconception, and I am glad you brought it up. I will post a new article, this one, or this video as well, and video in order to clarify these points so that others can learn from them as well. Thank you for pointing out this opportunity to improve the information on my site. I appreciate it. DJ. Now, I had hoped that my comment thanking Micah for pointing out the weakness of my original article and video would garner a response from him. I was actually, by now, looking forward to continued conversation with him and maybe even the possibility of an interview with him, because this conversation had gone on for a while and this had continued for several hours by this point. I was starting to enjoy it. But sadly, he never responded after this email. Along with the message itself, I included 3 attachments. They were benefits based on a veteran's receipt of active service pay, which was the VA link I mentioned in the email. The new VA Form 21-895-2, which service members can use to waive part of their VA compensation and keep their military pay. This I also thought would spark some thought in Micah's mind and get him to keep talking to me. Alas, it did not. Opportunity lost. And the other item was an updated pay calculation for the mythical Specialist Jones, which I will also put in the resources section for this particular episode. So I hope that this episode has been useful and informative to you, and that it has cleared up some misconceptions that you yourself may have, or that you think others may have. If you think it will be useful to others, please forward it on. Be sure, on YouTube at least, to hit that thumbs up button or the subscribe button and keep that audience growing. And if you have not already, be sure to hit the Patreon subscription button on my website. I can use all the support that you guys are willing to provide, since this is my occupation now. Remember that. This is what I do. And I will get better about the videos, since I had to give myself a slap in the face. And get back to this. They will become much more frequent from now on. Alright, so that's the end of this video. I hope that it will be useful. And like I said, please spread the word about it. And there will be more in the future. Thank you so much for being part of this audience. And as always, thank you for your service. Have a great day.
If you liked what you heard on today's episode, then please go below and give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, please let other people know about this channel and the information it can provide for them. If you have questions or comments, then please have no qualms about posting them in the comments section below. Please remember the RC Retirement YouTube channel and the RC Retirement website are not recognized or endorsed by the Department of Defense, the Department of Veterans Affairs, or any other government agency. The information presented in these resources are for entertainment and informational purposes only. Also, the content of either of these resources should not be considered financial or legal advice. Please consult with your own legal counsel, accountant, or financial planner before making any decisions based on what you have learned here. As always, thank you for watching the RC Retirement YouTube channel.